This video is brought to you by
Cool Grain Clothing. We done gone worldwide and we coming straight out of Baltimore. Come on down, shop with us at 215 West Saratoga Street. And if you can't come and shop with us in person, go online right now at coolgrainclothing.com and make your purchase. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way, and that's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end so you can hear the full story and all the details in the case. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. Being a teenage boy can be a fun time and one of the best times in a young man's life. That's when your parents loosen their grip on you a little bit. You can explore the world more, hang out with friends, maybe go to the movie with your little crush. Everything is so exciting, fresh, and new. But it also can be a confusing and tricky time as well. I would say around about 14 years old, depending on what kind of environment you are raised in. It goes from having fun, going to school, playing basketball outside, to you watching your reality shift. You start watching your peers make life-changing decisions. Some might focus more on school and sports, while others might lean more towards the street life, trying to make a name for themselves and fit in. Now you are stuck in the middle and have to decide who you want to be out here. You might lose a close friend to violence at a young age. That could knock the most focused kid off track. Watching somebody your age you was with every day lose their life. It makes some hoppers grab a gun and jump out here head first. It's really not on no tough type of time though. It's really out of fear. Being a scared little boy trying to do what they feel they need to do to survive or adapt to their environment. I often think back to how I felt as a hopper when I was trying to find myself, feeling like nobody understands what you are going through, nobody to listen at home, peer pressure outside. It's easier to follow the crowd than lead, even if you know better, because at that age, acceptance is everything. And nowadays, it's all about being a smacker or stepper. You got hoppers 13 years old with guns bigger than them. It's like a competition to see who can crash out or lose their lives at the youngest age. And unfortunately, in cities all over America, we are losing our youth at an alarming rate. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we'll be discussing the case of a 15-year-old boy gone after a deal went wrong in the Baltimore streets. Earlier this year, 15-year-old John Lewis was navigating life in Baltimore. John had a strong family system. His mother, father, siblings, and an extra hand, a stepfather as well, who helped raise him. The 9th grader was a typical teen. He liked to play video games, listen to music, and hang out with friends. But like most hoppers his age, John was trying to figure out which way to go. He was at that fork in the road. The young man was into guns, and in Baltimore, sadly enough, it's nothing for a hopper to get a burner. Sometimes it's for show. Other times they find themselves caught up in something or a situation that they feel like they need protection for. And being that young, not even in control of your emotions, with a 30-shot clip is a recipe for disaster. The new thing for John and others his age is to trade off their guns sometimes. They would trade weapons with other young men that was into the same thing they was into. And on May 7th of this year, him and an associate set up a day and time to swap out their guns. The man he was going to meet was 19-year-old Rashawn Smith. This day, in another part of town, Rashawn needed a ride to go meet John, and he didn't want to go alone. Another 19-year-old young man, Zion Wimbish, agreed to give him a ride. Also in the car with the teens was an older man, 34-year-old Rashid Alexandra. The men drove to the meetup location. in Northeast Baltimore off Minnesota Avenue. John walked up, ready to swap the guns out. The older man out the bunch, Rashid, hopped out the back seat of the car to let John in, so him and Rashawn could handle their business. As the two teens started talking, going back and forth about the trade, somewhere in the mix, things went left, and the two got into a heated argument. The conversation quickly escalated to them fighting. Seconds later, multiple shots went off in the back seat of the car. Rashawn hopped out on foot, and Zion and Rashid sped off, with John still in the back seat. Neighbors who heard the shots called BPD. They responded to the area to find Rashawn suffering from a gunshot wound to the leg. He was sitting on the curb. A few blocks away, they located the vehicle Zion was driving. In the back seat, John was suffering from multiple gunshot wounds, and unfortunately, he was pronounced gone at the scene. At first, police didn't know exactly what happened, but they did confirm that both incidents were related and that all three men were together. They were all taken into custody, charged with first-degree hit. Witnesses and people on the block spoke out, as many couldn't believe a 15-year-old boy lost his life. One man spoke on hearing the shots and seeing a man limping out the alleyway as a car sped off. A woman spoke on the teens in the city and the violence being out of control.
I think it was very bad. Them kids is just off the chain. They too much. The kids are just too much.
Even the young man put some input in on the situation, stating he was at the tragic Brooklyn Day block party in South Baltimore years ago when a lot of people lost their life after some teens started shooting. He felt everybody in the city need to stop trying to be gangsters and just be themselves.
It was at that Brooklyn Day experience when over like 30 people got shot up. It was a block party, terrible. And I just felt so bad for that young man. I'm like, dang, like, I just send my condolences to his family. A lot of people in Baltimore City, they need to stay out the way and just stop trying to live that gangster lifestyle, because it's not.
As police investigated the situation more, they figured out a motive and linked everything together. They alleged Rashawn and John were meeting up to swap out their guns. And after an argument in the back seat, the two teens, both armed, shot each other. In a panic, Zion drove off, and Rashawn hopped out of the car. At the first court date, Zion's attorney argued the young man was only giving Rashawn a ride as a friend. He didn't know nothing about a gun swap or didn't know it would go down like that. The young man had never been arrested. He had a good job, had graduated high school, he was taking computer classes, and even had a child. Rashawn's lawyer also claimed he had a clean record as well, and it seemed Rashid was just there for the ride. As Zion's attorney argued for the young man to be released on the box, the judge hesitated because there was no proof. He knew what was about to happen, and it was clear he didn't have a gun on him. But due to the seriousness of what happened, all three men were held without bail, pending trial. Zion's mother spoke out, stating her son was innocent. He was a good kid and never got caught up in no street activity. She feels like the charges against him will be dropped. As John's family was left to grieve and lay the young man to rest, some pointed to the fact how young he was. Others wondered why he was able to have access to guns. But it's a sad reality that's not uncommon in Baltimore. As of now, this case hasn't made its way to trial yet, and all three men are innocent until proven otherwise. Rest in peace to John. I send my prayers and condolences to his family. I don't know what exactly happened in the backseat of that car, but I do know Shorty was a baby who didn't even get a chance to grow and live. All over the world right now, it's like the youth feel like the only way to be heard and recognized is by shooting, robbing, going to jail. Pac said it best. Unless they are shooting, nobody notices the youth. A lot of times, I hear people say them hoppers are crazy. They don't respect nothing. But it's like every generation has fell deeper and deeper into the trap. Same way when we was young, we felt the old heads let us down or led us astray. They feel the same way. But nowadays, it's only enhanced. They give them switches, guns that the military use, and it's really genocide. But same way we couldn't see it back then when we was out there thugging, they can't either. But hopefully, one day they will understand. At this rate, before we know it, what we always was worried about, people going against us and our community, we will knock each other off and self-destruct. Other people won't even have to do it. I gotta state another pop quote for this video. Give them guns, step back, and watch them kill each other. I pray that hopefully one day we take our communities back and return back to the Baltimore we all love and miss. Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace to Shorty. I definitely send my prayers to his family. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. Y'all leave it in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. It's another episode of the Baltimore Way. It's your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out. Yo, what's the word, fam? We got a deal for you so you can get your fashion right this summer to get 10% off your purchase at Cool Green Clothing. All you gotta do is click the link in the comments. I'm gonna pin it right there for you. Add your items for purchase in the cart. Before you complete your order, type in code 2x10TV to get 10% off your purchase. Again, be sure to tap that link because without that, you can't get your discount. And that's code 2TIMESTV10. We appreciate your love and support.